With 27 tries and over 100 appearances to his name, Jean de Villiers called time on his Springbok career after the World Cup. He was the heartbeat of South Africa's midfield for 13 years.
At a young age, I think I was 19, 20 years old, doing my 1 year on the circuit, and I think we visited 14 countries in that year. And as a 20-year-old, seeing the world, traveling, playing rugby, the game that you love, and then getting paid for it. I mean, it's just fantastic. And if I could probably turn back the time a little bit, I would have enjoyed that more and really probably be a bit of a tourist more. Any young player coming into a professional setup, especially a backline player, who gets the opportunity to play on the 7th circuit, I think that is something that you just have to do. The skills that you learn by playing there, I think is so valuable going into the 15s game. I knew quite early on in that week that I was going to play, but the coach at the time, Rudolf Strali, said, well, this is the team that will play on the weekend, but you must please keep it quiet, don't tell anyone. And being a 21-year-old, I was like, I'm not going to tell anyone. So I didn't even tell my parents. I was too scared that I would have leaked classified information. So I knew leading up to the game that I was going to play, and I still remember it being a really late game, not being used to playing that late. I think it was a 8:30 or something game. Driving to the field, through Marseille, and just not really believing in what's going on, and getting this opportunity that I've always dreamt of, and then singing the national anthem, feeling really proud and quite emotional through that, and then taking to the field playing, and it lasted all but 7 minutes, and got quite a bad knee injury there. I was out for 9 months, so it didn't turn out the way that I dreamt about it growing up, but certainly still so proud, and still one of my most memorable occasions as a rugby player. Look, you go through the ups and the downs, but I think I've learned to cope with it. I always say it's your foundations need to be good, and those people around you need to be able to help you through that. I don't look back and think what if, but I certainly do count myself as being unlucky. If you take into account that I've been selected for 4 World Cups, the first one in 2003, I got injured. The last game before we left South Africa, we played a local team as a warm-up game, got injured, missed the whole of the World Cup. In 2007, I broke my ribs in a warm-up game again, and got on the flight just about in time to make it to France, only lasting 5 minutes into the second half of our first game and rupturing my bicep, and then missing the rest of that game. In 2011, I broke my ribs the first game, but luckily managed to stay on and play a part in the last pool game and also the quarter-final. And then in 2015, again getting injured with my knee and just making it in time to go to or to come to England for the World Cup, and then breaking my jaw 2 games before we go to the World Cup, and then breaking my jaw again 2 games into the World Cup. So I would say that's pretty unlucky, but injuries are part of rugby, and probably my timing has just been a bit bad when it comes to World Cups more than anything. So I played my 100th in Wellington, New Zealand, and great occasion. Unfortunately, we lost the game though. But the following game we played Australia in Cape Town at Newlands, and I was able to run out, still lead the team out, be captain and run out with my 2 daughters by my side. My wife obviously being there, my parents, my brother all being there, and just a place where I basically learned how to play rugby at Newlands. We beat Australia, and I was able to score 2 tries in that game. So it sort of just brought everything together, and that that was to be my last Test match at Newlands as well. And I can just remember after the game, sort of running around on the pitch with my two girls, and just thinking this is probably my proudest moment. You know, having my family, having something I really love in rugby with me, and the Springboks, and putting it all together. So I would single out that one as my best moment.